and welcome to another interview of Exoconscious Humans, where we are developing a new perspective of what it means to be human today. Humans that are in contact, communication, and co-creating with extraterrestrials, multidimensionals, and spiritual beings. And today we have Cynthia Ca, who is also in our Exoconscious Coaching group. And we welcome her to talk about her contact and the exciting co-creative work that she's doing. She's from Sonora, Mexico, so the northern part of Mexico. Tell us about your team, because your team sounds remarkable.
Yeah, we have a big team. We have so great teachers. For us, the teachers are very important because they need to be persons open to all these things. They need to be sensitive persons. They need to be persons that really enjoy making kids, supporting kids and guiding kids. When we search for these persons that they don't like to be just in front of the class, just talking and giving information, but they can play with them, because being part of the game is very important for the kids to actually believe in this scenario we are creating for them. So for example, in this scenario of the store, the teacher will be maybe like the cashier. And sometimes she will even go as a cashier, and she dressed up as a cashier, so they can see it like that. Or if the theme is of the ocean, and sometimes I enjoy so much when the teachers just come like a mermaid, or it's very fun. It's actually very fun for us. And so it's the way we are enjoying and just relaxing ourselves in a different, every day is different for the kids and for us.
Have you found that the teachers are changing? I can see that the students are changing, but how are the teachers changing?
Yes, absolutely. Like the teachers are always telling us, they're so grateful to be there, that because there's this different information they found sometimes, it's very difficult for them. And I can't say all of the teachers we have are still with us, because some of them just can't sort of take these challenges. But the ones we have and have more years with us, they see the changes. They are very grateful, and they're always innovating, and they're always nurturing and just keep going and keep reaching this vision we have together. And they tell us things that sometimes we just don't think about them. Yeah. And they are so into that. So they're very important, but we're always trying to be supportive with them and to sort of give them the training and the information they need, or whatever they need to be.
How do you come up with the ideas of what you're going to do this year? How do you work as a group to figure that out?
I have to say we are very, very creative. My sister and I, we just talk about that every day. We just go for lunch and we saw something and, what do we do? What do you think if we do that? Or I really enjoy a lot of, in Exoconscious, I read a lot. I'm very curious in things that I don't know. I'm always searching things, and the more I find out something I don't know, the more I sort of say, what else is there I haven't seen? So, and I just try to bring it here and to share it with people in here. And my sister just knows how to put it there. She just knows how to translate and put it there and make it possible. She just designed. So I think we work so well in group, in team, imagining and just put it in there and making it possible. But I have to say, this assistants or these interdimensional beings that are always assisting me in a way are pretty much the source of these creative things, because they're in order for us to develop as a human being, as a humankind. We're always searching for that. So I think that has a lot to be with that.
So are there particular beings that have influenced your creativity, or that you feel like you're co-creating this project with them?
I remember I asked one time what was like, who were these beings, like if I needed to put them a name. And synchronistically, like I couldn't listen or I couldn't have an answer like that, but synchronistically, I had a video from Pleiadians that were talking and describing me and giving me some information. So I sort of think they were that. But then when there was a night, again, I was asleep and I sort of wake up in the middle of the night, but I was not actually like, I was not at all wake up, but it was sort of a, I don't know how to describe it, but sort of in the middle of the realm. And I really felt like physically, I felt being in the side of my bed. Like I could feel the energy. I could feel there was somebody, like a body there. But I had my eyes closed. And I remember at first I creep out, like I was like, oh my God, who's that? But then I sort of just calmed myself. And I remember so clearly, I heard Sasani. And I heard it like so clearly, and I fall asleep again. Like I couldn't open my eyes. I decided not to open my eyes. I just fall asleep again. So in the morning, I just searched for Sasani, and I noticed it was this civilization, and I noticed the shark that he was talking about them, and I feel like I really enjoy hearing Bashar and what he's saying, because I feel in sort of a way very connected to what he's saying. I kind of like seeing it like in a way I connect, like I create this connection with them. And there's where I download the information of seeing things. How can they be possible here, like in my town, in my school, in my family, in my city, with my people? That's like the way I can see things are possible, because I'm sort of seeing them in a way there. And so I'm sure I can live them here too, in a way.
Are you aware of having kind of direct downloads that guide you?
I have.
I mean, would you call it a download? Would you call it something else?
I do. I didn't before. Like it was something I just did. I think when I just got into Exoconscious community and you started like to talking about downloads, and I said, well, yeah, maybe that's a download, when I'm just, because it feels like a download. Just it feels like the packages of energy of codes and just energy are trespassing my nervous system. Like I can feel like actually in my body electricity just come down and up at the time. So I think I noticed I was downloaded, because that was how the people in Exoconscious community was calling it. But I did it because I thought it was like a natural thing. I didn't think it was a download.
So what's been your journey from, us being together a year ago, and then you immediately joined the groups when that became a possibility? You were like right there, and you worked through the coaching manual, and now you're in a different group, and it's just how have you changed through that?
Well, first of all, I think if that wouldn't happen, I wouldn't be here talking about it. Like, I used to keep that information for myself. I was so scared to share it, because I have no idea if I was getting crazy. I even thought I was getting crazy. Like, I was saying, well, what is this? Like, maybe I'm going to die, or I was not actually clear enough for me to share it with somebody. So the community and this coaching, you helped me to clear myself in this thing, how this happened, how everybody has like a different experience and a different perspective and a different information and a different processing. And the tools we share there in the group help me to process in a different way I wouldn't know before, because I didn't know that existed before, or that was possible. That was even possible. Although I knew it's real, and I know it exists and it's for real. I don't know how I didn't know how to express myself. And just being in the groups, just being there, able to express myself in a free way, in a non-judgment, like you were not judging, you were so open, you were so supportive, you were always listening and guiding. Well, it's a big deal, because that just gave me the confidence and the certainty to go through the process in a more clear and supportive way for myself too.
So do you think it was primarily an issue of fear for you, or was it something else that kept you blocked from being public?
I think, yes, I think it's fear. I think it's still fear. Like, I think I've been like, deconstructed these walls of fear, but in order, what I noticed is that, because I sort of think that was it. Okay, I got it. Like, my senses are more vivid, and I have this, and I got it. I know how it works. But suddenly there's times where it just gets bigger. Like, it's nothing that just stops there. It's something like keep developing and keep evolving and so in a way, I found myself like sort of in the beginning, but I know I'm not at the beginning. I'm just starting like a new cycle or a new process. So, but I know now, like, I have a little more experience, although I have no idea where it's going to take me. I know it's kind of the process that it's integrating and developing a different aspect of myself again. So, but yeah, I would say fear. Yeah, I think.
So you have two precious girls. So how do you communicate what you know to them? How are you raising them to be exoconscious?
Well, I have to say, I love to tell the story, and my kids love me to tell the story, because I used to be in these groups of healing, and I used to know about the chakras, and I was trying always like to be psychic and studying how to be a psychic. But I had to say that until my youngest was born, and I started like sort of try to teach her how to talk. It's when I activate, or she taught me, and she activated me this psychic tools, or these psychic forms for me. Because I remember we were in the table. She was a baby. She was, I don't know, maybe 1 year old. And I was there, and she was asking me for water, and she was like, oh. And I knew she wanted it, water. But I was teaching her to talk because she was a baby, and I was teaching her. So I said, well, I don't understand you. What do you want? And she was like, And, well, what do you want? I don't get it. What do you want? And suddenly, just like that, it just brings to me, and I heard, like in a natural, curious, and non-judging way. Do you really don't understand me? Oh, just like it was so clear and so natural. Like, okay, it was like a lot of information in just a line. So I just froze myself and I said, yes, I do. I do understand you. But I was trying to teach you how to talk because that's the way I learned. So I started like to practice. She taught me how to talk that way. Like she taught me to be conscious of that. I was studying for years. She taught me to practice it. So I started to talk to her and I started to communicate and it developed more and more and more and more. And now that she's 7 and I always tell her what happened. Like I always tell her like she is the one who taught me to do that. And the other day we were at a coffee. We were having a coffee and she was having an ice cream and she said, "Well, let's call my sister for her to take her a coffee." I said, "No, your sister is asleep. Like we're not calling her." And yes, we should call her. And she took my phone and she said, "Give me the code so I can call her." And I said, "No, I won't give it to you." And she said, "Give it to me." When I told her, "Okay, I'm giving it to you. I'm showing it to you. And you can get it if you see it. You can call your sister." It was amazing that she got the code. Of course. Of course. What am I thinking? She got the code. So she has the code on my cell phone now. And she called her sister. But it's still surprising for me because this thing like really happened, still happen in different ways. She's 7 now, like she has different information and sometimes it's not that easy, but she is a very psychic, very sensitive kid and we talk about this all the time. She knows, like we read this, she loves to read stories. So in the night, we just read stories and we read stories of beings that just live in another planet. Our favorite book is the book called Here on Earth. So it talks about human experience, but we're always like telling about this is one Earth in the middle of a lot of and we are just a human being, but there's a lot of beings that they just don't have a body as we say, as we had. So she's very open to that. She's not scared to those topics yet. I hope she keeps like that. And that's one of the things we made the school too, because we noticed like we couldn't put these things into a regular school because my sister used to work in a school, and we noticed there are not topics that they are very important yet. Now with the pandemic. And now with all the things that bring us, thanks to the pandemic, we know emotion is a big deal. We know social, emotional skills are very, very important for kids and for adults. So in a way, we know we are doing it already. And it's very funny because we started like we say, okay, we'll create this system and we'll make this thing, our school is working this way. And we started like to make community programs and social emotional development skills. And we started like to do mindfulness and to do all these things. And suddenly in Mexico, the educational program changed. And all the things that we were already doing 3 years ago are meant to be in schools right now. And schools are getting crazy because they don't know how to do them yet. Like they're what is that? Like, how are we going to do that? And we're helping too. We're having a program helping teachers how to make it good because we're doing it since 3 years ago. So it's very fun. It's been pretty impressive and pretty magical, the journey and the whole thing.
It's like a flower. It's like a flower that just keeps opening and opening and opening, like it's limitless possibilities of what you're doing.
Yeah, we have a lot of challenge. Like I'm just telling you like the good part. Like, but we have a lot of challenge too. But we just take them and recognize how everything always worked the best way. So we trust that and we just flow and keep interiorizing ourselves. Like we work on ourselves a lot. So because we know it's a very important part of being in this, in building this new system in a way. We have to be very compromised with ourselves in that, in order to that be possible. Because if we just not into that, everything just complicates more.
So to wrap it up, I was so impressed this week in coaching when you were talking about you had just hit a point when you were so tired and you just couldn't do what you wanted to do, and the human resonance was spiking very, very high, we found out. And I so respected how you pulled inward and did a lot of self-care. Do you want to share that?
Yeah, go
It was
ahead.
it was a beautiful way of taking care of yourself.
Yeah, well, it's crazy because we love what we do. Sometimes we get confused and we just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. And sometimes I just don't give myself time for myself. I noticed that like I had a couple weeks, maybe months, that I was just keep going and keep going, and I was not giving my proper time for myself. Like being proper time as I don't know, I sort of give myself 20 minutes of meditations and that was enough. But I'm not like that. I usually I really give myself time. So I was going by this because my sister just had a baby. So I was in sort of a way, I was with a lot of things and responsibilities, and we were making 2 camps at a time and preparing the new cycle and well, a lot going. So we had this workshop. We were taking the teachers from school, sensory integrity, something like that. It was the course. It was a very interesting workshop they were taking for kids to integrate sensory perception. And we were going to Guadalajara to here in Mexico. We were flying there, and it was a 4-day trip. And I felt bad. I really felt bad a week before that. So I said, okay, I know I'm feeling bad because I felt my chakra just pulled out of my system. I was disaligned. So I just sort of slowed down for me to be able to go to the trip. Like I was heading and doing the things for me to go to the trip. So I was pushing myself to go to the trip. So I was flying on Friday, and Thursday in the night, I was not feeling good yet. Like I just felt like I could not, like I felt I didn't want it to go. I felt like there was something in myself that just needed to be with me. And in sort of a way, I told you, I think I realized I needed me more than they needed me at that time. So I decided not to go. Like I called them in the morning, and they were so worried that I was feeling. I just canceled my trip. They went. They're very intelligent and very independent. Like they do it by themselves. And they went, and I told them like I don't feel myself. Like I can't go and share something I'm not. I need to really be working myself and clarify and notice what is, and give me some time. So just enjoy yourself, and everything is there for you. So you don't have to do anything, just enjoy it. And yeah, so I took the whole weekend in myself and just clarify, do my things and enjoy being with the kids. I do grounding, I do meditation, I do journaling, I do a lot of things. And I felt a lot more better since that moment. Since I decided, because I know it's this thing it's like a different cycle to me. I now get it. And then I go to the coaching group I knew there was like the human resonance. So I said, oh, yeah, this makes sense. Maybe it's that too. So yeah, it took me a while because I felt in a way I had to be with them, but we try to be very honest. We are very, one of the things I always ask them, and because it's the thing that works for me, is to be honest. Like, if you're not feeling good, if you're not enjoying, if you're feeling under pressure, there's something not in the mood, like you're not here, let us know, because then children know, like, that's what we are sharing with them. So they understand, because that's what we talk about. Like, they knew, like I told them, like, I can't be there. I'm just being honest, and I can't be there. And they were very supportive. They of course, they understood.
Yeah,
And they were
it was very strong.
Thank you.
Very strong.
Interesting.
And it's good to go to the coaching group and be able to talk about that and see that other people were having the same, very similar experiences.
Yes, it was impressive for me that I was sort of not the only one. I'm the only one maybe here, but not there. So it's
not there. Right.
Yeah, that's what I mean with the community of Exoconscious. You're so supportive. Like, I feel part of a big family that is always behind and supporting and just being there for me.
Thank you. It's wonderful. It's wonderful that you're part of our community. And if people want to get to know you better, get to know about your work, is there a way that they can contact you? Or
yeah, well, we're still working on the page of the school. We don't have an official page. Well,
okay.
we have Instagram and Facebook, but we don't have an official page yet. But my email is there, and you can share my email. Although sometimes I see them very late. You know that.
Teachers will see this and they'll be very interested in what you're doing. My daughter's a second grade teacher. I'm just
hope so
happy to share this with her.
And I have to say, like, schools here have been putting this playing system into their schools. Like, that's the thing we want to do. Like, what we are doing is not for us only. We are looking for this to grow in every school possible. Like, we are just making it from here. We're just trying and see how and seeing the results. And we share this with other schools too, because, well, that's what we need. We need to be a community. We need to share and grow in that way too. So yes, I'll be here. We'll be here, and we can talk about it.
Oh, sounds like you're going to be a trainer in the near future. Thank you for being with us, Cynthia. Thank you so much for sharing at such a deep level and the co-creation that you're doing. And you not only benefited your school system and your family, but the whole Exoconscious community with what you're doing is benefiting from the seeds that you're planting and the life that you're living.
Thank you so much. And we didn't mention the name of our school, but it's Seeds Institute. That's the name of our school. It's Seeds.
Seeds. Oh, I think I knew that. Yes, Seeds Institute.
Seeds Institute. That's the name. We are. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rebecca.